and welcome back to another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Cinco de Mayo may have come and went, but let's grab a margarita, let's make some tacos, let's have some fun on this Friday. Mike, how are you? How are things?
It is a fiesta here with another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Matt, it's been good. It's been great. Ready to have a siesta. I don't know if I guess that's Spanglish for most, if I'm correct, but ready to sit down and chat for whatever that's the next half hour or hour with you on this amazing journey of the Funny Business Podcast.
Let's say you start a podcast or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today.
Matt, I know it's been a while since we've picked each other's brains for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's brainstorm a little bit before we get into today's story that I want to share with you.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, extremely large pillowcases. So, Matt, I heard this on a podcast this past weekend on my way down to see Jenna, way over, I should say. One of the questions that they asked was if we were able to start fresh again with the internet, how would we do it differently?
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna make a joke that you're not gonna like and just say add an edit button to Twitter.
Yeah, okay.
I know you love that idea.
We're waiting very patiently on Elon to make that change. But anyway,
Yeah, people gotta calm down with Elon. He's not. It's a little too crazy. People get a little too into it. I don't really care who owns Twitter as long as I have Twitter. Changes to make to the internet.
It's a stumper, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin.
I would recommend to eliminate any type of marketing tactic from web. Like, you can't track analytics, you can't track social media engagement. Like, it's like a car on a road. Like, it is just your destination for, I don't want to say information, but it's just a way for you to access and be able to travel.
Yeah, and just like a way to just like connect with people kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just like see what everyone's going on, which I think was the general idea of it all. And then obviously it's turned into something that I don't think anyone would have thought it would have turned into. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to start. I'm trying to think of something stupid to suggest.
More
I would get
corgis.
rid of. I wouldn't show. I think you should be able to like stuff, but you shouldn't be able to see how many people like the post. I think too many people get too caught up in like, oh, like not enough people are liking this post, I'm gonna take it down. When it's like, well, you shouldn't be posting just to get likes. You should be posting because you want to post it. You want to be proud of what you're posting and show other people, hey, this is what I'm up to, or this is what I'm doing.
I think we're slowly getting to that point, Matt. I don't know if you know, but Instagram has released an option for you to hide your likes, which, you know, I think it's a step in the right direction. But I think just with everything going on at Meta and Facebook or Instagram, you know, just that issue that they want you to stay connected and they want you to be involved with their social platform. So I think you're right. Definitely hiding likes just across the board. And I don't know if you noticed, Matt, in the time that I've been talking, my chair has done its thing again where it's not decompressed.
I was gonna let it slide.
I'm gonna try to have a good conversation with you, Matt, as I'm trying to fix my chair. So, any other suggestions on how we can improve the web?
Yeah, let's get rid of Facebook stories because we have enough stories. You got Snapchat, you got Instagram. That's really all I need. I don't think I've ever viewed a single Facebook story, nor do I plan on viewing a single Facebook story. This is just fantastic. I mean, this is really, if you're watching the YouTube video, there's nothing else more you could want than to watch Mike struggle with his chair right now.
I'm just gonna be down here, man. That's how this is how everything's been going.
Looks like you're looking up to me, actually.
I look up to you, Matt.
At least someone does.
Oh man, how's the lady friend doing, Matt? Oh, okay. Takes a sip
That's
of
a
water.
bad time to take a sip of water.
God damn it, Matt.
Good. We just went to the beach this past weekend.
Did you?
We did. We went to Seaside Heights.
Okay.
We went to the home with the Jersey Shore. Just to chill out. It was a little chilly, but we sat on the beach for about 3 hours. I got a pretty good tan going on.
Watch tan activated?
I did not wear my watch to the beach.
Okay.
So it's still a little bit of a watch tan from work and everything like that, but we're not bad. It's a good start.
Okay.
Yeah, good. It was good.
Yeah.
Good little day trip.
I'm glad you had a good time. I saw some Instagram stories. I'm like, oh, Matt's at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was a nice little getaway for you too.
Yeah, it's something that we've talked about doing a few times this summer, and obviously we're doing like a week at the beach with my family and a long weekend with hers. But we just talked about whenever it's like a nice Saturday or Sunday, like if we don't have anything to do, like we're only like 2 hours from the beach, like just go to the beach today, just chill, hang out, get some food, catch some vibes, catch some
Day
rays.
trip, man.
Those UV rays were hitting different.
What type of SPF do you put on?
Generally like 15 or 30.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. Usually I'll start off summer with like a 30 and end with a 15.
I might have to, yeah. I have a lot of trips that are coming up that involves a lot of sun, so I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Don't want anything bad to happen to my skin.
Oh, listen, no one's tougher than the sun.
Nope.
It's not. They're not possible.
Oh man. So Matt, did you have to use a GPS while driving?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of know the drive a little bit, but I've never been to Seaside Heights before where we went, so I did use GPS.
Talk to me about your GPS usage. Like, how often do you use it? How do you use it? What do you use? What app do you use specifically? Not sponsored.
I try to use Waze. Sometimes Waze doesn't always pick up my exact location, so then I have to use Apple Maps, which Apple Maps has gotten a lot better than it was in the past. So it's not terrible. I prefer Waze just because it tells you like cops coming up or like potholes or like car crash, stuff like that, and it'll actually give you like the fastest route. Sometimes Apple Maps just gives you the most convenient route.
Mm-hmm.
I probably every time I travel, I use it, even if I really know where I'm going. Like if I'm traveling more than like half an hour, I'll usually put it in just in case there's traffic or anything like that. Once in a while, I'll use it for work, like if I have an event that I have to go to and I don't know where the place is.
Interesting. Well, in my reflection, I tend to use Google Maps when I'm at home or at my computer trying to find directions or trying to find where the heck things are. In my car, I typically use Apple Maps. If it's a place where I have an idea where it's going, but I just haven't been there in a while, I'll actually put on the navigation, but I'll turn off the sound. So like, just in case for some God's reason, I am like blanking out, I at least have my my GPS still working to me getting to my destination. And then the nice thing too is your Apple Watch goes off when you're trying to make turn by turns if you're using your Apple Watch for Apple Maps. I did use Waze a little bit. Obviously on very long trips, like just making sure, there's no cops there, or just accidents in general. But yeah, Google Maps tends to just fall off a little bit. Like as much as we use it probably a lot when we're at home, like trying to look things up in the Google, we don't typically use Google Maps when we're actually driving to our destination.
No, I never have. I do it all the time at work. If I'm looking up like an address of a place I gotta go to, I'll look it up before I go, once I get in the actual car, I never use Google Maps.
Because, we Google stuff.
Correct.
So, Matt, this poor 26-year-old woman was in Portland, Maine. Police had to be called because the 26-year-old woman drove her SUV through a plaza and down a flight of stairs.
Oh.
She claimed she was, quote, following her GPS instructions, according to the police.
Oh.
Officers with the Portland Police Department didn't buy the woman's claim, stating they, quote, felt it was her excessive blood alcohol level that led to the unusual crash.
Now, what leads them to believe that could be the issue? I mean, come on.
The officer said the woman, who appeared to be driving a Toyota Highlander SUV, drove through the police department garage, across a pedestrian plaza, and down the stairs. We are fortunate that she didn't strike anyone, and this ended with just a small amount of property damage, the Portland Police Department said on its Facebook post. Please don't drink and drive. The woman was issued a summons for allegedly operating a vehicle while under the influence.
Yeah, don't drink and drive.
Yes.
This is literally an episode of The Office. This is when Michael Scott was driving with Dwight, and the GPS told him to turn right, and Michael took the immediate right, and Dwight tried telling him, no, Michael, it's up there to the right. He's like, no, the GPS is telling me to turn right, and they drive into the lake. This is an episode of The Office in real life, except the girl's drunk, so that wasn't the case. Yeah, I think the alcohol may have played a little part in this. Just maybe a tad, maybe
a little.
I don't know.
I think it's just crazy because, I mean, let's drop the whole drink and drive type of deal, because I think we can pretty much claim that this woman was drinking and driving and driving under the influence when this occurred. But like, how many beers? Sorry, let's go back to the drinking and driving. How many beers do you need in order for you to do such an act? Matt, I wish I'm actually going to send you. I'll see if I could send you the photo really quick. But holy crap, man! Like it's an SUV, but like really, again, how many beers do you think it would take for somebody to actually run through? Just generally, just run through what this individual did.
As many beers as get you to 0.08.
Yeah.
I
or even more than that.
However, yeah. Who knows what her BAC was if she did that. That is a little excessive. I feel like, well, I was going to say I feel like you should know your surroundings, but she was legally not supposed to be driving, so she probably doesn't know her surroundings.
Clearly.
I just couldn't imagine, like, I couldn't imagine, like, being at that place and seeing the car drive down the steps.
I mean, let's be honest here. We've saw in the news around our local college that somebody drove through. Yeah, right. Matt just got the picture.
Holy shit!
Fit like a glove.
Yeah, it really did.
Literally, the SUV fit between the steps of the police department. So it's it's a quite the squeeze, but she managed to fit through. Obviously, I think the steps were the cause of the stop, but it's interesting. But what was my point? I think at times, if you are dependent on your GPS, the worst thing about a GPS is the fact that an individual, again, I'm just rolling around trying to beat around a dead horse. Somebody who's dependent on the GPS doesn't realize that when they say turn right, it, like you said, Dwight and Michael Scott, like it doesn't mean immediately turn right. Like you have to be somewhat coherent and competent with the street signs and the lanes and the lane departures. Like, I'll admit it, I've been like that before. Like, I've always like, okay, turn right. And like, you don't realize the right hand turn is like seconds away. But then there's other times where it's like, oh, turn right on Summer Street. And like, you literally see Summer Street up on the, the street sign where the traffic light is. But yeah, I think that this is interesting. This is a very interesting story that has come to mind, and it's a good, important reminder to not drink and drive, and always to pay attention to the road when you're driving, even when you're using a GPS.
Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time.
I think you bring up a good point, and you still have to be competent while driving with the GPS, because it'll say, most of the time it'll say turn right on the street name. You still have to look for the street name. Like, you can't just say turn right, and if there's like a right-hand turn that's closer than another one, maybe take a quick glance at the GPS and see which one it is, or just pay attention to the street signs. Like, you just can't listen to it fully because it's not always accurate. Now, Apple Maps, what I liked with Apple Maps is they've been sometimes saying, like, go past this light, then at the next one make a right, or like make a left at the stop sign. When Waze doesn't really do that. A lot of them just tell you turn left or turn right. It is very helpful when they say, go past this light at the next stop sign, make a left. I like that. Mm-hmm. That's a little more helpful, and I can understand people wanting that. But it is still a piece of technology, and you are still the one driving the car, so you should still be responsible and know where you're going, because the person behind you doesn't know what you're doing, and it could be a big issue.
Did you ever end up having in your car or your parents' cars like a Garmin, like an actual GPS?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we used it a bunch, actually.
Yeah. I had one for the interim a little bit, and I'm like trying to think of my reasoning behind why I had it. I think it was because I didn't have unlimited data. No, was it? Yeah, had to be. I think so. I didn't have unlimited data, so that's why my GPS like wasn't being used. I also was running music at the same time too, and I just didn't have like a case or like a stand to be able to prop up the phone to be able to do it. So did you ever try loading in voices or anything like that to your Garmin?
Not that I remember.
Yeah. Waze has some interesting interesting voices that you can choose from.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually just go with the standard one. I don't really care that much. I just need to tell me where to go. Waze I like a lot, just because, like I said, it'll tell you if there's police there, and then it also gives you the option to say if they're still there or not, because half the times they're not. I do not understand the people that when they're driving west, like there'll be an accident on the east-hand side, and they'll say there's an accident. So then it tells you there's an accident coming up. I'm like, oh, great, here comes traffic, and I blow right by. Or the worst part is, like, you're on the highway, and it's like, oh, police in half a mile ahead. It's like, all right, I got to slow down. You slow down, the police guys or cars on the other side of the highway. It's like, well, what's the point of this?
And what's really interesting too, because for something like Waze, like you either have to be the passenger, like it literally says, "Are you the passenger?" It's like, yes. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know. I think it causes more danger, and it causes more chances of accidents.
Yeah, you just got to be smart with the GPS and still be a competent driver. It's really what it comes down to. You got to pass the driving test without a GPS. So if you can't drive without a GPS, don't drive.
I don't know if it would serve any benefit for you to have a GPS while driving for a driver's test.
Yeah, unless you get on the highway. Because there's some driver's tests that they actually put you out on the actual highway.
Yeah. Luckily, I had like a backyard course almost. Like there's some places like
did.
Yeah, you kind of did too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some courses that like are coned off. Like there's literally like an obstacle course of a parking lot, and then there's places like where mine was, where it was just parallel park, and it's like, okay, drive around this back road and then a dirt road, and then this stop sign, turn right, and then move elsewhere else. So it's yeah, it will be interesting to yeah. Well, especially those like self park cars now.
Mm-hmm. Did I ever tell you it took me 3 times to pass my driver's test?
It took me twice.
Yeah, first time I failed parallel parking. Second time I went to turn left, and I swear this guy was flying, and like he almost hit me, but the lady was like, "Oh, you pulled out in front of him." I was like, "I don't think I did. I think he was just going a little fast." So she failed me then. Third time I got it.
That sucks.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
It honestly, it depends on your driver tester, proctor,
Instructor.
proctor.
Yeah, sure.
Instructor's instructing. Proctoring
Correct.
is watching you as a test. Yeah.
Yep.
It all depends on the proctor, because I remember my first proctor, total flat line, like didn't care, just told you what to do. And then like when he said, he's like, "You didn't pass." I was like, "Oh, okay." Didn't say sorry, didn't do anything. And then the next one actually helped me to a certain degree. Like I was backing up. She goes, "Okay, good. Go ahead. Pull around." She goes, "Ah, you made it in. You're good." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
That's cool.
Oh, it was like such a relief. Like, and like I actually drove 2 different cars. Like I originally drove an Impala to start for my driver's test. And like, that's a big car. Like that's a pretty hunk of junk. And then I drove a Volvo XC90, which was a little smaller. So I remember the night before, my mom and I went out after hours, and we spent basically, I forget how many times, just parallel parking, because that literally was the only thing I couldn't do. And not that I wasn't taught on how to do it. It just was never an opportunity that came up for me to do it. So, and yet here I am. I parallel park like a king now, but I also have my backup cam with me too. I did not have a backup cam when I was parallel parking as a driver.
Yeah, backup cameras are a game changer. I'm still not great at parallel parking. A friend Lori has a great story about that. But yeah, backup cameras are huge.
I remember when I got the car that I currently have, and I was backing up. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I said, "I have a backup cam." This is the first time I've ever had a backup cam in my car for the first time.
It's awesome.
It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. So I didn't know that it took you 2 tries to pass your driver's test.
Yeah, and my brother, fun fact, failed his permit test the first time. No, you may be thinking, how did he fail the permit test? That's pretty easy. He failed every single drunk driving question because he did not study the drunk driving questions, because he said, quote, "I'm never going to drink and drive." Which it's cute, it's honorable, but you still got to know the rules.
Oh, Steven.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My test went well. We actually went on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was my mom's birthday. I got my permit on my mom's birthday. Did you know what's been interesting with, I don't want to say the last time, but Jenna had to go to the DMV a little bit. It was like the quickest I've ever been at the DMV in my entire life.
Oh.
Like it took minutes, and it was packed. Like I think people were just trying to go for the real ID, but who knows? So
last time I was at the DMV, I had to get my real ID license, and they didn't take a new photo. So I got like a shaved head, and I don't look anything like my driver's license photo from when I was like, I got my license.
Let's talk about IDs really quick.
Yeah, sure.
The real ones,
Right?
Not the fake ones. What's your reaction when somebody says, "Can I see your ID?"
In what scenario?
What do you want to drink?
I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it?
Yeah.
I always, for some reason, and I always have to repeat this, and I think Jenna can testify it too. They're like, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And they're always like, "Sorry." It's like, why are you saying sorry? Like, you don't. Like, you're doing your job.
Right. If you're really sorry about it, you wouldn't ask for it.
Right.
Like, if you have to ask for it, ask for it. Like, I don't really care.
But the good news is now that both of us are 26 years old, we can be the adults at the table.
Yes,
so
sir.
we can even still get a drink while somebody isn't even 21.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Beautiful. Which is weird because I don't know what constitutes 26 as being a mature adult, in my opinion. But I digress.
It's weird. I don't know if it's like 5 years after you turn 21 kind of deal, or if they just randomly pick 26. I feel like 25 would work just as good.
I'd say even 24.
Honestly, if you're legal to have a drink, you should be able to have a drink. It's a crazy thought.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like at 21, like obviously you're a new drinker. 22, okay, you're 1 out of drinking. 23, no one likes you when you're 23. But 26, an interesting what do you call it? Interesting age to pick. I mean, I'm sure there's some scientific reason, but I for one think what do you call it? So
yeah, we're smarter than most scientists anyway.
Certified podcast experts.
I'd like to see scientists have a podcast for 107 weeks.
I think there are people out there, Matt. We just don't. That's not an interest in us.
Nah. I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Yeah, we'll find one later.
Yes, we will.
So what we learned out of this? Don't drink and drive.
Yep.
Don't take your GPS as your, let's say, your confidant. Like, don't heavily rely on your GPS. Be very aware. Know your street signs. When you hear the GPS say turn right on Summer Street, you know what Summer Street it is. And we all make mistakes. But the thing is, don't try to make a mistake. Just recalculate and just go to the next stop because you're going to piss somebody off. You're trying to swing around or do something stupid to try to get on the road that you needed to get on.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. It's worth the extra 5 minutes to just figure it out. Moving on, Mike, let's get into some segments here. You know which ones we're doing first. I'm going to let you pick which one you want to do.
Buy or sell.
All right, let's move into buy or sell. I'll go first. I have one of each. Mailed it in today. I'm going to buy fruit.
Fruit.
I've been eating a ton of fruit. You know where I've been getting most of my fruit from?
The supermarket.
Whaaat.
Oh.
Has like fresh cut, like already cut, like little packages. I've been getting them at lunch. Phenomenal. The watermelon. I used to not be a big watermelon fan. I've been getting some fire watermelon from Whaaat.
Okay.
I had pineapple last week. That was fire. I got a large, like a mixed fruit one. Had like grapes, cantaloupe, honeydew, pineapple, stuff like that. Phenomenal. I will say, cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is either fire or trash. Like I've never had a cantaloupe I was like, oh, this is okay. I've only ever had cantaloupe that's really good or cantaloupe that's not even remotely edible.
I feel like an idiot saying this. Cantaloupe is the orange, right?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know.
It's kind of like the...
It's honeydew, but it's orange.
Correct. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, what the hell does cantaloupe look like? And it has like this weird like green shell.
Kind of. It's like a beige green kind of. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Go on.
No, that's funny. I literally was going to say it's the orange version of honeydew. Yeah, but I was just eating a ton of fruit. And I'm very excited for fruit this summer at the beach.
Now, this fruit, is this for like lunch? Is this a snack?
Sometimes I'll get like I'll get a small one for lunch and then like a small one for like a snack later at the day at work, or I'll take it home and bring it home for a snack after the dinner. We get a lot of fruit at Costco during the summer. Costco gets this pre-cut mango, pineapple, grapes, honeydew, and cantaloupe.
Nice.
Big fruit guy.
Good stuff.
I'm also going to sell Being Famous.
Being Famous?
Being Famous. I'm going to sell Being Famous.
Okay.
While maybe it's cool that like everybody like wants to like know you and like everybody knows you and like you're like a celebrity. After watching, not like fully watching, but like keeping up with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say keeping up with the Kardashians. I'm like,
That
excuse
too.
me.
Yeah, no. After watching highlights of this, I'm cool with just no one knowing who I am.
Well, I guess Matt, we all know where this podcast is going after that. So.
No, I'm just saying like I wouldn't want to be like that level celebrity that like everybody is tuning in to a case about your personal life and it's just all out there. Like at least we're able to like disclose what we want to disclose.
That's true.
Everything on those two is just fully out in the news, and that's really gotta suck.
Have you been getting a lot of TikToks of like memes of the court case?
A few, not a whole lot.
I think it just goes to show I guess I'll transition. Like, sorry, go ahead. I want you to finish your thought because I guess I kind of came up with like a little bit of a weird like transition of like selling, but go ahead.
No, I just feel bad for. Well, I feel bad for one of them. I don't really feel bad for the other. I'll just keep it at that one.
Yep.
But it's got to suck for both of them just because everything is out there. Like everybody knows their business now. And it's like, this should be a matter that is just between them and their relatives and friends and family. And now Joe Schmo on the public knows everything about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's just got to be such a weird feeling to like walk out and like, how do they walk out in public after this?
Have you seen the differences between Amber walking out in public and Johnny walking out in public?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that really kind of, like a dog's interested, like it tilts its head and it looks and it's like, what the heck? I think one of the moments was the prosecutor for Amber was talking to Johnny Depp at the stand. And he's like, and you poured a mega pint? It's like, a mega pint?
Yeah, no, it's one of the wildest court cases ever.
And like, okay, I get you have to be very professional. You have to be very careful in hearsay, speculation. You heard that for anybody who's following, you've heard that quite a bit with the objection. It's just like the whole mega pint. I'm like, how could you have a mega pint? Just have a pint. Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think what I hope for is that it all comes to a conclusion. And like, I don't know. It's tough that it's being covered publicly. There's always people complaining like, why don't we get every court case public? Like there's a lot of legalities and a lot of statute of limitations that doesn't allow every court case to be filmed. This, on the other hand, does it involve Johnny Depp's influence of being famous? Possibly. But it is a court case that certainly can be public because of the scenario that it currently is involved with in the prosecution. That's what all my master's class in law has taught me. So I'm very happy that I've brought it somehow back into my real world.
Listen, you got to use it somehow.
Yeah, got to use it somehow. Yeah. I just hope it ends swiftly and quick and just it's done.
At this point, I just want it to be over.
Yeah. No, that is for sure. So. You're good on buying and selling, my friend.
That's all I got on my plate.
Okay. Well, Matt, I'm going to sell asparagus.
Oh. Why?
So, well, I like eating asparagus.
Okay, good. I was just saying, don't slander asparagus on this podcast.
I like when it's sauteed. I like when there's some nice little spices and all that. Like, delicious. What I don't like is the aftermath.
I know where this is going.
Oh boy. Okay. I don't know how to put it in the most PG way of ways. Let's just say your urine smells really bad after you have some asparagus.
I've never had this issue. I eat asparagus all the time, and I've heard lots of people have this issue. I've never had it.
Do.
But is it that bad that you're never going to eat it again?
No, it's never bad, but like
Okay.
you know the difference. Like you it's very distinct. Like Jenna had a salad made for, which is what I'll come up in the buy, a salad made for an event, and it had asparagus in it. And like, again, love eating asparagus. I think it's phenomenal. However, the aftermath, like I know, like when I'm out to eat and I have asparagus, I come home and I go to the bathroom, I'm like, oh.
Was this cooked asparagus in the salad or raw?
Well, I think it's cooked. I thought it was cooked based
I
on
was
what
going to say, I don't think I'd eat raw asparagus.
I don't think I've ever had raw asparagus either.
I don't know if you can eat raw asparagus. Well, I'm sure it's a vegetable. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a vegetable.
But
it's like carrots.
That's true. Yeah, it's got to be way better cooked though.
It's like carrots. So yeah, I mean, again, I love asparagus, but like I'm just gonna sell the aftermath of what there is to come if you have that problem.
That's fair.
I'm looking for a group if you all want to have like Asparagus Anonymous. Just talk about this in AA meeting. Feel free to reach out, funnybusinessentertainment@gmail.com.
Sure, why not? Fair enough.
So Matt, and then I'm buying double dates. So I actually went on a double date this past weekend.
Oh, okay.
I should say, Jenna and I went on a double date this past weekend. So what was funny was I was heading to Jenna's area for the weekend to enjoy spending time with her, and of course, the highlight is going to the church that is in her area. So we've become really close friends with the college pastor because he was actually the first person that talked with us when we went to that church for the first time. So we've been to dinner at their place, and it was like Friday night at like 4:15, 4:25. Work gets out at 4:30 for me on a Friday. It's like, all right, gotta vibe up. Like it's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday. What? I got a text from the pastor, and he says, "What are your guys' plans this weekend? Would you like to do a double date?" And then the other thing was also, can you help film the service on Sunday? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, thank God you texted me like 10 minutes before I left, because I would have had nothing and I would have been beaming out to see Jenna at her place. So, we're trying to figure out, like trying to call the restaurant for the reservations. And lo and behold, luckily, we got our reservation expanded. And we had a nice conversation. We had a really nice time with Bill and Heidi. Shout out to Bill and Heidi. It was fun to chat. It always is fun to chat with them. It's always nice, but it has definitely felt very community based, and yeah, it's something that Jenna and I have appreciated. So buying double dates.
I had a mini double date this weekend as well when we were at the beach. We got to run into my good friend Melissa and her boyfriend Ben. We saw them for a little bit, and then
on purpose or by accident?
On purpose.
Okay.
On purpose.
It made it sound like it was totally by accident. Like you guys plopped the towels on the beach and you looked to the left and, oh my gosh, it's Melissa.
That would have been a little too perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, double dates are just fun. It's something that we haven't done a whole lot, me and April. Well, we went on a double date, all the four of us. Technically,
yes, we did. December.
Yeah, for December. But yeah, they're fun. It's nice because you get to hang out with your significant other and also some of the other friends at the same time.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah. No, amen. Amen. When are we doing ours again?
We did dinner and then we did Spider-Man.
No, when are we doing another one?
Oh, another one. Whatever. Listen, I'll make time.
I was getting you.
I'll always make
you said,
time.
Listen. I'm like, I am listening.
I said, listen, then my brain just shut off. Just stopped working.
So,
yeah.
Did you say did what?
No.
What is going on?
I don't know. My brain is short circuiting. I slept so bad last night. I driving 2 hours to the beach for being there for 7 hours. We were at the beach, 2 hours back, and I just didn't sleep last night.
So sad, so bad.
My brain is fried.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely fried.
You were frying on a beach.
I was. Got a good tan.
I'm glad you did.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any others?
No. That
Okay.
well, myself, I was like trying to tie in the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp case. I was seeing a lot of the ticky tacks of like them like kind of doing it, and like I've simply come to the conclusion. It's gonna sound like a really awful conclusion. We are now part of a social media demographic that is starting to get into the older demographic.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
We're seeing a lot of like kids stuff now, and it's like, okay, but I like my content. I like my what? I forget his name.
Couldn't tell you.
I like my funny comedy skits. I like everybody that's on TikTok, but I've come to realize that probably some of the kids that are making this content are people who are way much younger than us. And I don't mean 10 years. Like, I mean like 15 years. Oh,
yeah.
Excuse me. My lunch number just came out of my mouth.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding. It's called comedy.
Right. My For You page has kind of sucked the last couple of months. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, it's been weird. My YouTube subscription feed has become very weird myself. The people that I used to subscribe to don't upload as much anymore. They don't produce enough content as much anymore. They either are done. Like I remember, like I had, like it literally looked like Price is Right, like wheel, the Showcase Showdown wheel. Like you're like, oh my god, like I have so many movies to watch. So many videos to watch, and like now it's like, that's it. So,
yeah, no, that's weird.
We're getting old.
Yeah, sadly we are.
Sadly.
Yep. All right, let's move on to one more segment here before we wrap up the show. Let's get into a little Say What. And for this one, Mike, I went first for last one, so you can go first here.
Okay. Well, I only have one Say What today. And we can, this is very generic. There is a particular thing that happened, but I would like to keep the anonymity of that and keep it to safe space. Remember, safe space for everybody.
Yep.
So the way that I'll phrase this is always use, quote, your best. And what I mean by that is if you have a really nice pair of shoes and you don't know what pair of shoes to wear your best shoes. If you want to take a photo of somebody and you have your iPhone or your DSLR camera, use your DSLR camera because it's better than the iPhone. If you have, I don't know, if you got a 12 pack versus the 30 pack of beer, buy the 30 pack. Like you yourself will thank your future self later that you used your best. Because if you don't use your best, then there's the possibility you're going to get stuck with the thing that you thought you did your best with. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay.
Because then also you're not really using your fullest potential if you don't always use the best.
Exactly. Like you got to give 100% of everything dedicated to whatever thing you need to use your best at. And I heard stuff this week and I'm like, why? Like, why are you not living up to your fullest potential in doing your best?
Yeah. That's perfect.
That could sound totally motivational or like totally like out of place.
I feel totally motivated to give my best for the rest of this podcast.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Freaking time.
Yep. So here we go. All TV remotes. They should be universally the same. All of them. This is not. So I did see this on Twitter this morning.
Yeah.
is, I believe, Max Homa. He's a golfer. Brought up a great point. Why do we have different TV remotes for different TVs? Why? I should not. If it is a TV remote, I should be able to pick it up and know how to change the channel and how to do everything on it. Each brand of TV does not. This is so stupid. It does not need its own different way to use the remote. It's a remote. They should all be the same. They should not be widely different from each other.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I know there's, I'll just say it right now, there's Jenna's parents' TV in the living room. And it's always funny because all of us have an issue with it. It's like we pick up one remote, we try turning the TV on, not turning on. That turns on like the sound system. We take another one, turn it on. Okay, that's not the TV, that's the Roku. I mean, obviously the Roku is very easy to differentiate amongst the rest of them. But, you press the other one. Okay, this is good. Now, how do we change it to the Roku? Okay, we got to go back to this remote. We got to change.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Hilarious.
Yes. And then also, so this past weekend, did some mini golf as well. We were at the beach. So we had a 5-way mini golf outing. Proud to say I tied for first place with our good friend Lori. Wanted on the record that I wanted to rock, paper, scissors for the champion. Lori did not. She wanted to take the tie. And she said, we'll just play next time you come. So on the record, I wanted to have a winner, but we do not have an official winner. That's okay. However, professional mini golf would be absolutely electric.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Right. So I'm not saying you just go to like a Joe Schmo mini golf place. No, I'm talking about like you build, kind of like Steph Curry had like a crazy mini golf show on ABC for a little bit. If you build like professional mini golf courses, make them actually like have to have like skill and like insane holes and like insane obstacles, it would be electric. And people, I think a lot more people would be inclined to watch professional mini golf than professional golf. I think you make the vibe totally different. I think you blast music. I think people just cheer like crazy in the middle of your round because it's just mini golf. Like you're supposed to have fun. But if you, obviously, it's not going to be like a big time sport. You're not going to make a lot of money. For professional mini golf, I'd go to a professional mini golf tournament. I love watching people play mini golf.
I could totally think like this being like arena style, like almost like a dodgeball tournament, but like have like the area in which you watch the mini golf like on like a risen platform. And like kind of like it's like the Thunderdome. It's like, like being able to watch people mini golf and like that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like and beer. Like you obviously got to sell beer at this place. So
yeah, make it fun. Like make your one hole you have to do like a blindfolded tee shot. Like first it's blindfolded.
Bonus holes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like the 19th hole where you can always try to get like a free round. You give them that, but if they make it, they get like a stroke off.
Nope. Yeah. I'm seeing this happening, Matt.
I see it in our future. We are going to be the commissioners of the PMGL, Professional Mini Golf League.
PMGL.
I'll start saving up now.
Okay, same. $1 a day.
Keeps the apple away. Doctor away. Shit.
Sure.
Messed that one up.
Funnily enough, I looked up how far Apple Park was from my trip.
Oh,
I wanted to be that person that went there. So I know this is very long ways away, but I shared with Matt. I am going on a conference in a couple months from now. I'll be going to San Francisco. Never been out on the West Coast in my life. What's that?
Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. Well, no, that's definitely on my list, but
yeah.
I'll save it for the discussion later on when it gets time for it. So we'll be ready for it. But no, mini golf, professional mini golf, like, and then like they can have like top mini golf instead of top golf, top mini golf.
Yeah.
Like you can select your distance. Like if you want a short putt, you can make it a short putt. If you want a long putt, like you press a button, it just boop, boop, boop.
Yeah. Listen, we're hitting all the ideas today.
Listen, I'm chock full of them. good recording day of the Funny Business Podcast.
Absolutely.
Well, Matt, that was awesome. We started with the brainstorming, ended with the brainstorming, and we just tied it all together into one amazing episode of the Funny Business Podcast.
That's what we do.
It is what we do. And thank you all so much for listening. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to whatever platform you're currently listening to this episode on, whether that's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, whatever popular app that you are currently using to listen to these sweet voices or faces, seeing more so list somewhere around there. But if you're not sure where to start, maybe you're just finding us somewhere for the first time, welcome. Thank you for listening all the way. You can find all of our social media at solo.to/funnybusiness. And if it's your first time here, you may need some advice. Mr. Matthew always loves to give advice every week to everybody. So, Mr. Matthew, what is your advice for the good people of the funny business world?
So I've been yawning nonstop during this podcast. Don't know if Mike, if you've been picking up on
Caught
that. Yeah, let's just get some sleep. Sleep does wonders. I've said this before. This has been advice before, but it's necessary. Sleep is great. Helps the brain rest. Helps you be more energized for the next day. It really has a big effect on your health. So let's put the phone down late at night. Let's catch some Z's.
Catch some Z's.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm very tempted to go by myself to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I can't get into it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't love Doctor Strange.
All right. You're strange, but that's okay.
I know. Listen, my mother tells me every day.
How is mom doing?
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parents and the family is great. Yeah, we're all just chilling.
Chilling like villains. It is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. Make sure you hit subscribe, follow, like, resubscribe, whatever those fancy buttons are. And until the next time, we'll see you all in the next video.
Stay safe, everyone.